I will be discussing about motion to quash. So we would know what is a motion to quash, what is the purpose of a motion to quash, and what are the grounds of for a motion to quash, and what are the consequences if a motion to quash is granted or denied. So first, let us define what is a motion to quash. So under Rule 117 of the Rules on Criminal Procedure, you would find the provision regarding a motion to quash or the rules pertaining to motion to quash. So first, let's define what is a motion to quash. Okay? A motion to quash is a mode by which an accused assails the validity of a complaint or information filed against him for insufficient, hindi sapat, on its face, in point of law, or for defects, may depekto dun sa complaint or information, which are apparent in the face of the information. Okay? So, a motion to quash is a critical defensive pleading available to an accused in a criminal case to challenge the validity of the complaint or information before entering a plea. Okay? So, ang importanteng malaman natin dito, kailangan ang motion to quash ay ma-file siya before entering a plea of guilty or not guilty. Okay? So, kailan ba malalaman? Kailan po ba yan, attorney, yung entering a plea? Okay? Yung pag-e-enter ng plea, yan po yung pinakaunang hearing na isineset ng korte para sa arraignment ng akusado. Ano po yung arraignment, attorney? Yung arraignment ay isang procedure sa korte kung saan binabasahan ang akusado, formal na binabasahan ng akusado ng reklamo laban sa kanya. Okay? At sasagot naman siya kung siya ba ay guilty or not guilty. So, sabi dito sa Rule 117 of the Rule on Criminal Procedure, under Section 1 of Rule 117, time to move to quash. At any time before entering his plea, the accused may move to quash the complaint or information. Okay? So, kailangan para maging epektibo yung pagpa-file ng isang motion to quash, kailangan ay ma-file siya bago mag-enter ng plea ang akusado. Ano naman yung form and content ng isang motion to quash? Under Section 2 of Rule 117, Forms and Contents, the motion to quash shall be in writing. Kailangan ay nakasulat, signed by the accused or his counsel, so may pirma ng akusado o ng kanyang abogado, and shall distinctly specify its factual and legal grounds. Okay? So nakalagay doon sa pleading ng motion to quash yung basihan na factual at legal. Okay? Kapag ka sinabing factual, yung facts kung saan nakabase yung argumento ng motion to quash. And then for legal grounds naman, ay yung grounds na isinaad dito sa Rule 117. Attorney, saan makikita yung grounds na yon? So it can be found in Section 3 of Rule 117. Grounds. The accused may move to quash the complaint or information on any of the following grounds. Okay? So, yung grounds na to ay from A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. 9 grounds. Okay? 9 grounds for a motion to quash. Okay? For letter A, that the facts charged do not constitute an offense. So, first is that the complaint or information or the facts therein do not constitute an offense. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, walang na-commit or walang valid na violation ng batas at walang basehan yung complaint or information na sinampa laban doon sa akusado. Letter B, the court trying the case has no jurisdiction over the offense charge. Okay? The offense is not within the court's jurisdiction. Bakit? Paanong hindi wala sa jurisdiction ng korte? Minsan kasi, yung jurisdiction kasi, iyan po yung authority ng korte para hiringan yung isang kaso. Ang mga kaso po ay may kanya-kanyang jurisdiction. Meron tayong tinatawag na jurisdiction ng Municipal Trial Court, jurisdiction ng Regional Trial Court, jurisdiction ng Sandigan Bayan. Okay? So, magkakaibang korte po yan na may kanya-kanyang jurisdiction or authority para hiringan ang mga iba't ibang klase ng kaso. So, iyon ay isa sa mga ground for a motion to quash. Kapag yung korte kung saan nasampa yung complaint or information ay walang jurisdiction para hiringan yung kaso na yun. Okay? Yung mga kaso ng plunder, doon lang siya sa Sandigan Bayan at hindi siya pwede sa regular court, sa regional trial court. So, yan po yung mga ilang example. Letter C, the court trying the case has no jurisdiction over the person of the accused. Okay? Lack of jurisdiction over the person of the accused. Okay? It typically arises when the arrest is not valid. Usually, kapag walang valid warrantless arrest, in-inquest, tapos hindi pala pang inquest yung kaso kasi hindi siya covered ng warrantless arrest, ng in flagrante delicto, or ng hot pursuit, or ng escape prisoner. Okay? So, hindi po magkakaroon ng jurisdiction yung korte kasi invalid yung arrest. Okay? Next is that the officer who filed the information had no authority to do so. Okay? So, example na yan, yung kapag halimbawa, yung piskal na or yung tao na nag-file ng kaso ay hindi duly delegated ng chief prosecutor, or for example, nagkakaroon ng conflict of jurisdiction yung mga sa city prosecutor at sa provincial prosecutor. Kung halimbawa, yung kaso ay hindi sakop ng jurisdiction ng city office of the city prosecutor, so yung city prosecutor ay hindi magkakaroon ng authority para isampa yung kaso na para sa jurisdiction ng office of the provincial prosecutor. So, nagkakaiba po yung jurisdiction niya na nung jurisdiction ng office of the city prosecutor at office of the provincial prosecutor. Magkaiba po yan. Although, pareho silang office of the prosecutor, prosecutor's office, no? Pero, meron silang magkaibang jurisdiction doon sa territorial jurisdiction nila. Okay? Letter E, that it does not conform substantially to the prescribed form. So, hindi tama or hindi naaayon do sa prescribed form ng information yung naisampang kaso, yung complaint or information. Letter F, that more than one offense is charged except when a single punishment for various offenses is prescribed by law. So, ang example nito, as a rule kasi, sabi dito, di ba? So, sa letter F, there is more than one offense charge. Kasi as a rule, kailangan one offense, one information. Okay? So, bawal yung multiplicity of charges in one information. Except in cases where the law or rules permit a single complaint or information to contain multiple offenses. Example, yung mga continuous offenses and yung mga special law na nag-aalaw na magkaroon ng joinder of offenses. Okay? So, for example, yung qualified theft ay na-commit in 3 instances, kailangan sa isang araw na may na-commit na qualified theft, isang pagnanakaw, isang complaint, or isang information. Yung pangalawang pagnanakaw, another complaint, another information. Yung pangatlo, another complaint or another information. Yun po yung ibig sabihin na kailangan ay hindi magkaroon ng multiplicity of offense charge in the information. Okay? Letter G, that the criminal action or liability has been extinguished. Okay? So, example na to, nagkaroon ng yung criminal action dun sa akusado ay nagkaroon siya ng amnesty or pardon or other legal reason that has extinguished his criminal liability. Okay? So, madaling sabi, wala na siyang criminal liability kasi maaaring napatawad na siya. Okay? Or extinguished na. Or prescribed na. Okay? Nag-prescribe na yung offense laban sa kanya. Letter H, that it contains averments which, if true, would constitute a legal excuse or justification. Okay? For example, this is a matter of defense. For example, yung mga invocation of a self-defense or any matter that would exempt the accused from criminal liability. For example, pwede ring insanity. Okay? And letter I, that the accused has been previously convicted or acquitted of the offense charged, or the case against him was dismissed or otherwise terminated without his express consent. Ito yung tinatawag nating double jeopardy. Kasi kapag may double jeopardy, ibig sabihin nagkaroon na ng judgment dun sa unang kaso na isinampa laban sa akusado. Maaring siya ay convicted, okay? Nahatulan na siya ay may pagkakasala, o kaya maaari naman na siya ay acquitted, okay? Na nakita ng korte na siya ay walang liability, okay? Or na-dismiss for any other reason yung kaso laban sa kanya. So those are the grounds for a motion to quash. So what are the effects of a grant or denial of a motion to quash? Okay? So if a motion to quash, as a rule, if the motion is granted, the complaint or information is dismissed. Okay? Pero merong rules dito pertaining dun sa grant and denial. Okay? So there are motion to quash that wherein the defect may be amended. Okay? If the defect is something that can be cured by amending the information, the court may allow the prosecution to amend or refile the case. Okay? But if the ground for a motion to quash is based on double jeopardy, okay, the dismissal amounts to an acquittal. Okay? Kasi nga meron ng naunang kaso, violation yun of the right to double jeopardy of the accused. So, hindi siya pwedeng itry sa parehong kaso. Okay? So, kapag may nauna ng kaso na isinampalaban sa kanya na same nature and same offense, okay, hindi na siya pwedeng sampahan ulit noon. Okay. For example, nag-grant ng motion to quash. Pero yung ground ay hindi naman based sa double jeopardy or prescription, pwede pa rin i-refile yung complaint or information. Tapos, i-correct lang ng prosecutor yung naging defect doon sa complaint or information. For example, if the basis of the motion to quash is that the court trying the case has no jurisdiction over the person of the accused because the warrant against the accused or the arrest of the accused is invalid because there has been no valid warrantless arrest. The complaint or information may be filed again because the dismissal of the information is without prejudice. When you say without prejudice, maaari pa ulit isampa yung kaso. Okay? So, eto, paano naman kapag denied yung motion to quash? Ano ang mangyayari? So, if the motion to quash is denied by the court, the arraignment will ensue or matutuloy yung arraignment at magkakaroon ng plea and trial. So, babasahan ng sakdal yung akusado at tatanungin siya kung siya ba ay guilty or not guilty. And then after that, ay magkakaroon ng pre-trial. Sa pre-trial ay nagkakaroon ng marking of evidence at sinasabi doon kung sino yung mga witnesses ng prosecution at ng defense. Okay? And then after that, trial will ensue. Okay? And it says here that a denial of a motion to quash is an interlocutory order. So, an interlocutory order is a provisional order of the court which does not dispose entirely of the case because there are still matters to be tackled upon and during hearing or during trial of the case. Okay? Exception to this interlocutory order kasi kapag ka-interlocutory order, ibig sabihin nun, hindi siya pwedeng i-appeal. Hindi siya pwedeng i-appeala. Okay? So, exception. If there is a clear grave abuse of discretion amounting to lack or excess of jurisdiction, the accused may avail of an extraordinary remedy of certiorari under Rule 65. Okay, so under Rule 65, it may be availed if there is grave abuse of discretion from the judge who ruled the motion to quash, which amounts to lack or excess of jurisdiction. Okay. That's all. That's a motion to quash. So basically, a motion to quash is, again, a defensive pleading available to an accused in a criminal case to challenge the validity of the complaint or information before entering his plea.